Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mindful Moments podcast. I'm Tracy, I'm your host and fellow traveler on this journey of self-exploration and discovery. In our last episode, we started exploring quantum consciousness, and oh boy, was that a fun one. We talked about the Penrose-Hameroff theory, and we talked about how the tiniest particles in the universe might influence our thoughts and awareness. If you missed that episode, I highly recommend going back to give it a listen. It'll give you a pretty solid foundation for today's discussion, but please remember that this is just the beginning of our series, so you're going to want to stick around and make sure that you join us as we continue exploring all of this. Today, we're exploring the very captivating world of solar phenomena, and we're going to see how the sun's activity impacts our lives here on Earth. Together, we're going to explore solar flares and the sun's electromagnetic activity, and we're going to explore how these events can affect our personal energy and well-being. To get us started, let's explore some basics about solar phenomena. These are the dynamic events that occur on the sun, like solar flares. Imagine the sun throwing a massive energy tantrum. There it is, it's hurling bursts of light and radiation into space. This sounds pretty wild, right? Solar flares are these sudden flashes of brightness, and they're observed near the sun's surface. They happen when the sun's magnetic field lines get twisted and then they snap. And when they snap, they release a ton of energy. This energy travels through space and it can interact with Earth's magnetic field. And when it does this, sometimes it causes disruptions in our technology, and fortunately for us, the result is that it creates these beautiful light shows, and it colors the sky with all of these really beautiful colors, and we have come to know and learn that this is the aurora borealis. Now, I want us to start talking a little bit more about solar flares, okay? So, solar flares, they're like the sun's version of fireworks. Solar flares happen when the sun's magnetic field lines get all twisted up and they snap. And when they do this, that's when they release all of this energy. Tons and tons of energy, right? And this energy travels through space and it can mess with Earth's magnetic field. So if you can picture this, you can see that the sun, it's there and it's constantly blowing a stream of charged particles our way. And these charged particles are known as solar wind. This solar wind interacts with our planet's magnetic field, and this interaction creates these beautiful light shows that we call the aurora borealis. And it's so cool. It's kind of like nature's own light display. There it is. It just paints the sky with all these vibrant colors. And it just blows my mind. It really is so cool, right? And now we're getting into some of my favorite parts of this. And I want us to talk about how this solar activity affects us here on Earth. So solar flares and electromagnetic activity can interfere with our technology. And we can see this demonstrated in many different ways, but these interferences, they might show up in our satellite technology and our power grids. And when these particles reach Earth, they can cause geomagnetic storms, which sometimes lead to disruptions in communication systems and even power outages. But listen, it's not just about the tech, but these solar events can also have a personal impact. You know how when the day it's really sunny and it's so nice outside and it can really lift up your mood? You know what I mean? Well, the sun's activity can do something similar. Some people even say that they feel more energized, and then other people might say that they have trouble sleeping when the sun is particularly active. It's like the sun's vibes are reaching us all the way down here, affecting how we feel and function. And by now, we all know that I love me a visualization. So what I want us to do is I want you to find a comfortable place where you can sit, and I'd like you to close your eyes if you feel safe and comfortable to do so. And I want you to take a few deep grounding breaths. This way we can get ourselves centered and prepared for this visualization. Okay, now imagine you're outside on a clear night and you're looking up at the sky. And this actually happened a couple of months ago here in Missouri. We had an amazing chance to witness the aurora borealis in all of its glory, and it was amazing. I remember it so clearly. It was late at night, and my husband called or woke me up, and he comes running into our bedroom, and he's shouting at the top of his lungs, "The aurora borealis is here! The aurora! It's here! The aurora borealis!" That's exactly what he shouted. So I hopped up out of bed, we both rushed outside, and there it was. The sky was lit up with reds and pinks and purples and even some greens. It was nothing short of incredible. It was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. And if I stop and I really think about it, in retrospect, I just want to think about the journey that the solar flare took to create this spectacle. The solar flare started its journey on the sun, and it started with a massive burst of solar wind and magnetic fields. And this spectacle is known as the coronal mass ejection. This burst traveled millions of miles through space. And it finally got here. It finally interacted with Earth's atmosphere. And that's what created those beautiful lights we saw. And all of this really had me thinking about what we can observe and how we observe. And when we observe these small, everyday moments like colors in the sky during an aurora, we can start to appreciate the connection between solar phenomena and our well-being. It's all about noticing the tiny, unpredictable events that shape our thoughts and actions. And that's all for today's episode on solar phenomena and human connection. And y'all, keep in mind that these episodes are designed to be short, and I want to make sure that I always keep them short at about 10 minutes each so that we can really absorb and reflect on the concepts we're exploring. I encourage you all to listen again to this episode and the previous episodes if you want to deepen your understanding. These short episodes are meant to spark your curiosity, and they're meant to give you the opportunity to explore these interesting topics on your own as well. And before we go, I want us all to take a moment to reflect on how the sun's activity might be influencing our own lives. Have you noticed any changes in your mood or energy levels during different solar events? As always, of course, feel free to share your reflections or your thoughts, especially if any part of this episode stood out to you. I'm so excited to explore more about this topic with you in upcoming episodes. It's just episode 2 of our series, so make sure you come back and make sure you stay with us for the entire journey. I know for me, one of the things that I'm constantly reflecting on is the fact that all of what we talk about on this podcast, it really does a beautiful job of reminding me that we're all part of a larger system. We're all connected to the universe in ways we're still discovering today. With that, be here, be you, be now.